Hi, my name is PJ. In this video, we are doing the results of the 5 kilometers from home challenge. Hope you enjoy. Okay, it's finally time. A few weeks have rolled around now. Funnily enough, when I first put out this challenge, we were in lockdown in Melbourne, lockdown 5. The next week after the challenge, we came out of lockdown and everyone was like, well, not everyone, a few people were like, well, we're not in lockdown anymore. What's the point? And then the week after, maybe one more week after that, I can't remember, we're back in lockdown. So I'm coming to you live out here in Melbourne from lockdown 6. It does suck, I have to say. You'd think we'd be used to lockdowns by now. You'd think they'd be getting easier, but in fact, it's the opposite. From the conversations that I've had with friends, I think everyone is just feeling a bit defeated at this point, starting to take its toll on quite a lot of people. But all we can do is make the best. No point complaining about it. This first image was submitted by Dwayne Hayden Photography. Dwayne, thank you so much for the submission. It's actually of the Aurora Borealis, and I didn't realize this, but Dwayne is in Victoria. I'm pretty sure southwest Victoria. I can't remember what suburb. I actually didn't realize that you could see the Aurora Borealis. Is that what it's called? The Northern Lights? Is that the same thing? Southern Lights? Northern Lights? I didn't realize that you could see that from Australia. It must be a very specific time or place or something. But anyway, really cool. Even cooler that this is really close to where you live. So props to you for the dedication for getting out there. I probably should have double checked this, but from memory, I think Dwayne said this was like a half-hour exposure. I don't think I've got any metadata here. Oh no, 10 seconds. 12,800, 10-second exposure. Very cool, Dwayne. I love the dedication, getting out there. With these sort of things, I know even if you plan it correctly with the day and date and time, and you look at the forecast and everything lines up, sometimes you go out there on the day and it just doesn't work out. So this is really cool that you were able to make this happen. I really appreciate you submitting it, and cool shot. What can I say? It's gorgeous. We had 5 submissions in total, and don't get me wrong, that's really good because that means that you guys actually got outside and took some pictures, which is the point of this challenge. It was to flex those creative muscles and actually, do something fun and productive with your time in lockdown. But I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a few more. There was a few people that said that they were going to participate that perhaps didn't. I understand it's not easy to force creativity, and sometimes you just don't feel like it. But it is what it is. I'm really happy with the results that I did get, and I just think this is a really useful exercise. If for nothing else, I think it's such a healthy and important thing as photographers that we find beauty in the mundane. I really love the idea that all day, every day, we walk past these moments that would be a great image if you just stop and take the time to sort of craft it a little bit, or if you scout it out and come back at a different time. I just like the fact that all these moments exist in the world around us, and for the most part, we walk past them without even noticing. I think that's kind of what sets us apart as photographers, is we are able to notice and capture these moments. And that's one thing that I really got out of the exercise. It made me maybe look at things a little bit of a different way. Particularly for me, I went down to the pier, and it was something that I had always thought about as quite boring. Never really enjoyed it visually or was inspired to be down there, but while I was there looking through the lens and able to make something, I walked away feeling really positive and inspired. Anyway, I digress. This next one comes from Dylan Gibbs. Dylan sent a few photos. I specifically did just want one photo for the submission because I didn't want to have to choose between other people's photos. I wanted someone to pick their favorite, but Dylan sent a few, and I couldn't help but include an extra one because he did 1 digital and 2 film shots, and these 2 that I've picked of his are the same location, 1 digital, 1 on film, and I think the contrast is really interesting. This first one, I would love to know exactly where this is. I can't remember, you might have told me in an email, Dylan, but it's some sort of like ocean baths, ocean saltwater pool. Really, really cool. It looks like it was probably first thing in the morning. I can't tell if it's sunset or sunrise, but the vibe that I get is first thing in the morning, and it just feels so peaceful. I think the reason I think it's early is because there's no one else around. So peaceful. This is a 25-second exposure, so quite a long one, and that really nice foggy effect on the water. Yeah, I just loved the serenity of this image. The next image that Dylan submitted, this one I think he said was taken on a Olympus MJU or Mu, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure if it was a Mu 1 or 2, but basically that's just a little point and shoot 35mm camera, and it was just taken on Kodak Gold. Now this image, there's sort of, technically speaking, there's a lot that you could point to that's not correct. I think it's focused a little bit in the foreground, and perhaps it's not drawing the eye exactly where you want it to go, but there's something just so charming and pleasant about the photo. I actually really like the composition. I like the fact that the swimmer in the front here is used to block the sun, and I really like the fact that you've caught a wave splashing up, and the golden light reflects through that. And I just really like the contrast of the analog noise or grain and the clean digital file, even though it's the same location. Not just that, it's there's just always a certain charm to this sort of thing. It feels like a real moment in time. It feels like a memory, a snapshot. Even, in fact, probably because it's imperfect, it feels like a memory that I wish I had. So I really liked it. Thanks for the submission, Dylan. Next one is my friend Rui from Portugal. One thing that I will say that I actually have only just noticed is I think every submission except for one features the water, which is really interesting. I'm not sure what that says about us. Perhaps that in our lockdown walks we have found peace and serenity by the water. That was certainly my logic. I know I find it quite peaceful even when the day is not the most calm or serene. But anyway, Rui has sent this beautiful shot. It looks like sunset. There's a canoe or kayak in the lake. I think Rui said that there's a club just not far from his house, and they're very active on the water in the summertime. And what I really loved about this photo was just the layers, to be honest. In the foreground you've got those reeds, and you have the subject in the middle in this sort of action pose. He's sort of lunging forward and deep in a moment there. And then there's not just that, you've got the trees on the other side of the lake, and then beyond that there's another layer which is the hills, and then beyond that obviously is the sky. And I just really like the nice golden hour sunset orangey tones. I think that's a really beautiful capture. Thank you so much, Ukui. Mikey, my boy, Michael Hancock from North Carolina, or is it South Carolina? Carolina. I'm pretty sure it's North Carolina. Keeping with the theme, my man, by the water. Mikey actually said to me in the email that it was not necessarily the most planned or thought out shot, but it was just something beautiful he saw on his lockdown walk, and there's nothing more than that I can ask than that. Like I said, there's something quite special about finding beauty in the mundane, and this is certainly a lockdown walk location that I would like to have close to my house. Again, looks like a sunset, like a golden hour sort of thing. I can see sort of those golden reflections on the building in the background, and yeah, hopefully you had a nice peaceful afternoon. It looks like you did. Thank you so much for the submission, my man. I really appreciate you as always. Next one was Blake Kirby from Sydney. Blake was posting a bunch of these shots on Facebook, and I want to say that there was a series of like 20 or 30 shots just from the lockdowns and isolation and solo city walks and that sort of thing. And I hit up Blake and I said, please submit one to the challenge for me. And he did. And I just love the quiet in these images. They're sort of dark and gloomy. We're in our winter here in Australia, but there's just something so peaceful and quiet about a lot of the images that Blake posted. This one in particular, you've got that just dead on eye contact from the cat there. And like I was saying with Hui's shot before, there's just a really interesting set of layers in this image. You've obviously got the bars. It looks like it might be taken at a local school or something. And then in the middle, you've got your subject of the portrait there, Blake, which is this mysterious black cat just looking dead down the barrel. Really cool. Nice symmetry as well. And then of course in the back you have this sort of gritty, these brick textures, and yeah, it's a cool shot. What can I say? I really like it. Thank you, mate. Last shot was mine. I think you guys saw it in the video, but here it is in all of its glory. To be honest, I really like this shot because it just, to me, is so much more epic than what was actually going on in the day. And like I was sort of saying before, earlier in this video, these moments are all out there waiting for us, and we just have to have the technical skill, but also the eye, the vision to put ourselves in the right place and execute when the opportunity presents itself. It was a golden light. It was a sunset situation, as you saw if you watched the other video, and I couldn't work out how I wanted it to look, so I just made it black and white, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. And there you have it. There is our lockdown challenge, 5 kilometers from home. As promised, I'm going to pick a favorite, and I actually haven't done it in advance. I'm just doing this off the top. I really like that one, Blake. I really like that one. Honestly, I just pure gut instinct. I really want to pick this one, Dylan. The film shot. There's just something about it. It just feels good. And I hope that one day you look back on this image and you remember this time and just this weird time in the history of you and the history of us, where we were all separated from each other and we're all forced into isolation. And I think we're gonna all look back on it and just remember how weird it was. And I can't explain why, but I just really love this moment, and I appreciate you sending me this shot. I'll be in contact. I'll send you a t-shirt. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. In the comment section below, I have a special request. Could you please leave me an idea for the next challenge, whether it's an editing or shooting challenge. Particularly, I really like the idea of getting out to go and shoot something, but I understand that there is a bigger cost to buy in. There's a lot more effort and thought involved, and it perhaps is a lot more daunting for a lot of you. But if you could leave me a suggestion for the next challenge down below in the comments, if I pick yours, I'll send you a Big Pants Legends Club t-shirt as well. Just on that quickly, join us on Facebook, facebook.com/BigPantsLegends. I can't remember, the link is on the screen now. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.